What's the extreme way you've gotten out of a family obligation? My traditional parents were forcing me into an arranged marriage with a man named Victor. I had met Victor once, and he spent the entire night talking about how women belong in the kitchen. My dad said this marriage would be excellent for our family because Victor's family owned a successful import business. My mom said, "You're 26 years old and you're not getting any younger. Victor is a good match and we've already agreed to the terms." My dad said, "We're having the engagement party in 2 months. This is settled." I tried everything to get out of it. I told my parents I wanted to focus on my career, and my mom said, "You can quit after the wedding. Victor doesn't want a working wife." I said I didn't want to marry someone I barely knew, and my dad said, "Love comes after marriage." I tried to break off the engagement directly, and my parents threatened to disown me. They said I would bring shame to the family. My parents planned everything without asking me. My mom showed me the dress she picked and said, "White with a high neck," because Victor's family is very traditional. I had to go to dinners with Victor and his parents every week. Victor got worse at every dinner. He told me his wife wouldn't be allowed to work, and my job would be raising at least 4 children. He grabbed my hand at one dinner and said, "You'll learn to be obedient once we're married. My father will teach you." At another dinner he said, "I hope you're prepared to give up that feminist nonsense. My household will be run the traditional way." My parents acted like this was completely normal. The engagement party was scheduled for Saturday at a country club. 200 people were invited, and my extended family was flying in from 3 states. By Friday night, I was having panic attacks. I called my best friend David crying and said, "I don't know what to do. They're not going to let me out of this." David said, "My parents are doing the same thing. They want me to marry this woman from church, and I can't take it anymore." David had a boyfriend he'd been hiding from his family for 2 years. I said, "We're both completely trapped." We sat on the phone in silence, and then I said, "What if we married each other?" He said, "What?" I said, "They can't force us into anything if we're already legally married to other people." 2 weeks later, I had my engagement party to Victor, and none of them had any idea I'd already been married to David for 48 hours. My parents gave a speech about how proud they were. My dad said, "Victor will take excellent care of our daughter, and we're thrilled to merge our families." Victor stood up and said, "I'm looking forward to molding my wife into the perfect traditional woman. She has a lot to learn, but I'm a very patient teacher." People laughed and clapped. I stood up and said loudly, "I have an announcement to make." My mom smiled and said, "Sweetheart, we're not done with the speeches." I said, "I'm already married. I got married 2 days ago." The room went dead silent. Victor said, "What are you talking about?" I pulled the marriage certificate out of my purse and held it up. I said, "I'm legally married as of 8 o'clock Saturday morning. This engagement party is pointless." My dad stood up and his face was bright red. He said, "This is not funny." I said, "I'm not joking. The marriage is registered with the state." My mom said, "Who did you marry?" David stood up from a table in the back and said, "She married me." He walked to the front and stood next to me. Victor stared at David and said, "You married him? You barely know him." David said, "We've been best friends for 8 years. I know her better than you ever will." Victor's mom stood up and screamed, "This is humiliating. Our entire family has been disrespected." My mom was crying. She said, "How could you do this to us? We planned everything for you. Everyone we know is here." I said, "You planned everything for yourselves. You sold me off like I was property." My dad said, "If you walk out of here with him, you are no longer our daughter." David said, "Good. Your family is terrible." Victor got right in David's face and said, "What kind of man marries a woman he doesn't even love?" David smiled and said, "The kind who's saving his best friend from a controlling piece of garbage like you." Victor shoved David and security had to pull them apart. Victor was screaming, "This is fraud. I'll sue both of you. My family will destroy you." His parents had to drag him out while he yelled. My mom said, "You've humiliated us in front of everyone we know." I said, "I'll never forgive you for trying to force me into this nightmare." David and I walked out together while 200 people stared in complete silence. My parents disowned me and I moved in with David as roommates. He's still dating his boyfriend and I started seeing someone I actually like. We're both finally free.